I now call on Deputy Sean Kenny. You have 5 minutes.
Thank you, Cancorla. I would like to make some brief comments on the Finance Bill, which is the legislation that underpins the first budget that takes Ireland firmly from the crash back to recovery. I think the recovery is clear from figures that GDP growth for 2014 is forecast to be 4.7%, and next year the GDP growth is forecast at 3.9%. 1.92 million people will be at work at the end of 2014, which is an increase of 80,000 since the low point in 2012. And an additional 48,000 jobs are forecast by the end of 2015. There are a number of further positive aspects of the budget that I would like to emphasise in particular. In Budget 2015, all the levers of the tax system, including tax thresholds, bans and rates, have been utilised to target relief squarely at low and middle income workers and households. In terms of single PAYE workers, for example, somebody earning $25,000 per annum will see a 4.6% reduction in their total tax bill, including income tax, USC and PRSI. A single person earning $45,000 will see a reduction of 3.9%. And a single person on $70,000 will see their total tax bill reduced by 2.9%. Similarly, a couple or a married on one income earner on $25,000 will see a reduction of 8.4% in their total tax paid. And a similar person on $45,000 will see a 5% reduction. And a person on $70,000 in a similar situation, a couple will receive a 3.1% reduction in their total tax bill. This is clearly a progressive package of tax measures. More tax is paid by the highest income earners and the lower end than at the lower end, and the bottom line is that reliefs have been targeted at low and middle income workers. This highlights the government's commitment to making sure that low and middle income earners and families are prioritised when it comes to feeling the benefit of the emerging recovery in their pockets. In Budget 2015, a relief from deposit interest retention tax, known as DIRT, for first-time house buyers has been announced and is particularly welcome. This applies to savings used by first-time house buyers towards the deposit on a house. This is to apply to houses bought between October 2014 and the 31st of December 2017. The refund of DIRT will be up to 4 years prior to the purchase date and will apply to the amount of DIRT charged on deposits up to the value of 20% of the house purchase price. By way, for example, if a house costs €200,000, a first-time buyer will be able to claim a refund of DIRT paid on the first $40,000 that they had on deposit up to the date of purchase. The refund will be up to 4 years. So if there was $40,000 in an account that was going to be used to pay for a deposit in a house, that account paid 3% interest. That would mean DIRT of around €1,600 over 4 years. Under this scheme, that €1,600 will be refunded by revenue to the first-time house buyer. A total of €808 million is allocated for housing programmes, which is a huge investment and is the first step over the next number of years in a serious and significant investment in social housing. I welcome this aspect of the budget in particular. It is of great importance given the housing crisis that is so evident and which I am approached on every day. Local authorities are to provide 946 units through direct building and acquisition, and 440 units will be provided through voluntary housing bodies and cooperatives. Up to 150 new homes will be provided in the community for people with disabilities who are leaving institutional care, and 400 new units will be provided for people with specific needs. 40.4 million will be provided for approximately 7,600 adaptation grants for older people and people with disabilities. 1,000 vacant housing units will be refurbished and brought back into use in 2015. An extra 3 million will be provided for regeneration and remedial works in disadvantaged communities. It is expected that 8,000 households will transfer from rent supplement to the new housing assistance payment, and up to 2,000 new transfers are expected under the rental accommodation scheme. I welcome the extension of the home renovation incentive to include rented properties, which will result in better accommodation and living standards in the private rental sector. There has been a lot of attention paid to the soon-to-be abolished, quote, double Irish, unquote, tax scheme. I must say I'm glad to see that this scheme has changed. I believe it did reputational damage to our country. It angered overseas governments because it allowed multinational companies to channel untaxed revenues to an Irish subsidiary company which then paid the money to another company registered in Ireland that was tax resident elsewhere, usually in a tax haven such as Bermuda. In short, it was a tax loophole and it needed to be closed. The 12.5% corporation tax, which is a cornerstone of the government's foreign direct investment strategy, will not change, and I welcome that. I welcome the social welfare improvements announced in Budget 2015. I welcome the beginning of the restoration of the Christmas bonus paid to long-term social welfare recipients with a 25% bonus this Christmas. In 2015, 1.97 billion will be paid for child benefit, with 613,000 families getting an extra £5 per month per child. The living alone allowance for 177,000 pensioners and people with disabilities will be increased to €9 per week. I commend the bill to the House and I see it as the beginning of a way forward and for recovery. Thank you.